Hello and welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Today we're yet again talking about glass, one of the biggest pain in the butts in the detailing industry, getting that streak-free crystal clear glass. Now I have shown you guys quite a few videos using this system over here, using Brilliant Glaze, a mixture of waterless wash and some different glass cleaners, and I've been really impressed with this, and a lot of people have been really impressed with how well this has worked. The only downside, there's quite a few steps, quite a few products here, as you can tell. So then I started hearing about this. A lot of you guys have been telling me to test out this product, and this is the Bilt Hamber Traceless. Now this is what they call a super wetting glass cleaner, but essentially, hopefully, this is going to be the new game-changing glass cleaner, and I'm gonna try it for the first time here, give my first impressions, compare it to what I typically and traditionally use, and see how this stacks up. So welcome back, and let's jump into it. Before we get into the video, I should say this is absolutely not a sponsored video. All the products you see in front of me here, I've purchased with my own money in order to make a review for you guys. So one thing that I think a lot of people in the detailing industry really struggle with is, of course, glass. You may try 100 different glass cleaners. Myself, I know I have tried a couple dozen different glass cleaners. All the time they have these promises on the bottle that they're gonna be streak-free, do this, do that, and I really never seem to love the actual product. So much so that I actually have kind of created my own glass cleaner here, which we'll talk about in a second, to really get some of the things I like about a glass cleaner. And that's where this steps in over here. So this is Bilt Hamber Traceless. This is what they call a super wetting glass cleaner. Now the reason that they're calling this super wetting is this has 100% evaporating surfactants in it. Now one of the issues we run into on glass is it's actually a lot dirtier than you actually think it is. On a brand new car like my Tesla Model 3 behind me, I have a lot of off-gassing. That's basically all of the vegan leather, all the plastics, all the leather inside of the vehicles. When they heat up, they are basically releasing this chemical, that new car smell that we all know and love. And where do you think it goes? Right onto your glass. And it can actually be a real pain in the butt to remove. A lot of these glass cleaners end up just pushing it around, gets streaky, gets smeary, and you're not actually removing anything. So that's why I came up with this system over here. Now the main product that I love using for cleaning glass is this Brilliant Glaze. I've produced a couple videos on this and you guys have absolutely loved this, but you've also said you have to try this, and that's why we have it here today. I love exploring, love learning different products, and I'm happy to try anything. If this product can replace all of this, I'd be super happy with that. So essentially what Brilliant Glaze does, this is a solvent-based product. It also has a very, very small amount of basically a little agitation in it, or some sort of like polish in it, if you will. Now this goes in there and actually strips and removes all of that nasty off-gassing that is on the actual windshield or side windows or sunroof or whatever it is. So this extremely helps. Then what I do is come back in, wipe it down, then I get to my actual glass cleaner slash waterless wash mix. Now, two of my favorite glass cleaners over here that I've talked about before, CarPro Clarify, as well as Koch Chemie glass cleaner. What I look for in a glass cleaner is something that is slick. Now, a lot of glass cleaners out there have alcohol in them, making basically your towel not glide over a lot. Now, one of the issues with this is you're still going to leave behind those tiny, tiny little microfiber strands, creating all of this lint and dust all over the glass. That's not what you want. So what I like to do with my glass cleaners, even with these two that are my favorite on the market right now, is mix them into a bottle like this, 50-50 with Adam's waterless wash. Now what the waterless wash does is add some lubrication in there, and honestly, a lot of the time after you do Brilliant Glaze, you can strictly use this as your glass cleaner. But I think a lot of people struggle, yet again, with their glass cleaners because they go in there, try and clean off all of these nasty off-gassing stains that are all over your glass, and they're just constantly pushing them around. Now I know a lot of you get frustrated cleaning glass. I do myself. A lot of you, will comment and say, I have this towel, I'm using this and this and this. And I think that's really one of the frustrating parts with a lot of glass cleaners out there. You'll hear comments going, oh, you have to use this towel with it. You can only use this amount of product with it. Don't get it too wet. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it becomes annoying and it becomes frustrating. And that's where I'm hoping this is really going to change the game. So I'm going to jump into the car outside to actually show you what the inside of the glass on this looks like, as well as the outside, because it's a little dusty, a little grimy, but lots of contamination all over it. So we need to get that removed. And this will be a really hardcore test for Bilt Hamber Traceless. Well guys, I want to show you quickly what the inside of this windshield looks like. And as you can see, yeah, pretty nasty. Again, this is all from the factory. My car has been produced less than a month ago. And as you can see here, we can just write all over the window. We'll write a little out of spec there. Pretty nasty. And yeah, lots of film all over it. So I'm very curious to see how well the Traceless works on here. So I'm going to get it pulled inside now, let it cool down, and see how this thing works. I think it'll be hopefully awesome. So now you guys saw the glass. It's, yeah, pretty disgusting, isn't it? One thing I want to touch on, though, is actually the towels we're going to be testing. And this is, yet again, where I think a lot of people have frustration. Some of these towels work better than others. And sometimes one towel works better on certain glass than others. It really depends on how dirty it is. So we have a different mix over here. Everything from a few different types of waffle weaves over here to kind of a more traditional, very thin glass towel. Now with this, I normally would follow it up with something like this, a Costco microfiber towel. These are fantastic for cleaning glass. Why? Because all of that crud coming off of your glass, you want to make sure you have a fresh, clean towel and you're not grabbing a dirty towel with ceramic coatings, with polish, with compound, whatever it is inside of your towel. I genuinely find these are some of the best glass cleaning towels out there. Now, lastly, my absolute favorite glass towel on the market is from the Rag Company. This is the FTW, for the win, or for the windows. And yeah, it's plush. It picks up a lot. It holds a lot of product, which is more important over here. So again, I'm curious to see how this works, but I think we're just going to go around. We're going to start on the inside of the windows first, and then we'll come outside, kind of get a feel for how this Traceless actually works. I'm very, very curious to try it. Now, one of the things we're going to use here is a few different towels to really figure out what's best. So I'm going to give one mist to my towel here, and I'm also going to spray this down. Now, the interesting thing is, look how this is kind of uniform on here. A lot of the times you'll spray glass cleaners on and they'll start to run and kind of start to streak off. That is where those super wetting agents come in to help here. Now, one wipe, and I can tell you it's pretty darn slick. It's not as slick as I necessarily expected, but this glass has not been cleaned, at least on the inside before. So I am still seeing up here lots of little kind of streaks and grime. So I'm going to come in here, give this a little bit more of a scrub. And yeah, they do go away pretty darn quick. I wouldn't say it's rapid, but that's pretty darn impressive. Now, the glass to me, if I feel this over here, very sticky. You can see my glove trying to pull off. As I come over here, nice and slick. That's more of a glass cleaner that I really prefer. So that's pretty interesting. Now, the really interesting thing here that I did was actually not flip my towel. So normally when I'm using any normal glass cleaners, I'm going to spray this down. I'm going to have a wet side and a dry side. I'm going to wipe it down, and then I'm going to come in for my final buff. With this, it kind of seems like you have to do a little bit less of that, but I'm curious to see how that goes over time. So next, I'm going to tackle this middle section using the Costco microfiber here. We're definitely going to spray down the top, give it a nice even spray. I should have mentioned beforehand, this absolutely does work for tinted glass, so completely safe to do it on that. I know a lot of people had asked about the Brilliant Glaze treatment. Yes, it all works really great. I'm really impressed with this stuff so far. I mean, the glass is streak free. That's really what it should be, right? If it's traceless. The interesting thing that I noticed though, that's slightly different from kind of the more traditional glass cleaners I use, because it evaporates so quick, it's kind of like one wipe, and then when you come back to wipe, it's not as slick. So what I think you probably end up using with this product is using a little bit more. So as I wipe this, you can see pretty much evaporates almost instantaneously, but it's importantly not leaving that streaking here. So I'm curious to see what this feels like. It does have a little drag on it, I will say that. So you can see kind of how this towel is curling here. I would prefer it to feel a little bit slicker. But again, a lot of the times on brand new glass like this, I like to go in, use a solvent-based product, and then I don't really ever deal with this again, as long as I keep up with it. Now, new cars are gonna off-gas for probably about a year in total. So what I like to do about every month, go quickly wipe down the glass so it doesn't build up over time. You don't have to go in and do that brilliant glaze again. Now, one of the last towels I wanna try here, actually, I guess we have a waffle weave towel, but we've got many more panes of glass here, is using our FTW towel. And that feels like a very, very nice combination there. Now, one of the tricky parts with this towel is it is a little on the thick side, so getting into really tight edges like that can be a little bit cumbersome and a little bit of a trick. I like to spray this. Again, I always use towels in quarters. If you are doing window cleaning like this, stop being an animal. I've said that before, people love that. That's how you get a lot of streaks. That is not how you use microfiber towels, because I'm essentially adding in 8 sides here and you only have 2. That's not fun to do. So spraying this on here again, gonna kind of scrub these edges. It is really impressive, the cleaning power of this stuff. Even up here, yeah, all of that off-gassing, nasty rubber haze on here feels really, really nice. I'm actually pretty darn impressed with this, to say the least. Now, one thing I'm noticing here though, with the rag company FTW, is it is leaving a little bit of lint behind. Now, I launder these properly, but again, that's one of the things that happens with glass towels over time, is you're still washing them in the same washer, drying them in the same dryer that you're using for polishing towels, compounding towels, and if you're not like me, using a lot of dirty towels. So I do sometimes have a little bit of an issue with these towels doing that. So do keep that in mind. Honestly, I really kind of prefer the Costco microfibers here. So I think next, let's clean the inside windshield. I'm gonna do half of it. We're gonna take it outside and see how it looks. Now, I wanna show you on the back window here, because this glass has already been coated. It's got a little dust, dirt, and grime on here, but I wanna show you how quickly this stuff evaporates. So it does look a little different here on the outside of the glass, being that it kind of beads up. Now, this is Clean by Pan the Organizer's 8-year coating, of which I did on the paint and the glass on this particular car. But watch how this works in. And it evaporates to absolute crystal clear. Didn't second wipe that, nothing. That is how quick this stuff works. And that honestly is extraordinarily impressive. I really hope you guys can see that clarity in there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Look at that, crystal clear. Literally no streaks whatsoever on there. I really wish it would focus, but that is majorly impressive. All right, well, I hope you guys can see me in here. We're gonna tackle the passenger side of the glass first. That way we can pull it outside, get a good idea of how this product is working. Now, again, I just played around with a few more panes of glass. I'm finding the Costco microfibers are my favorite, easiest to use, no fuss, no mess. So I'm gonna set up my Scan Grip light here. Again, I really wish you guys could see that. Can you hear this? Ugh. Really, really nasty. Now, anytime I clean glass, always like to wear a glove, always like to have a headlamp and a second source of light here. Now, one thing I'm noticing about this product, you are naturally using a little bit more product, kind of getting your towel a little wet, which is kind of counterintuitive of how you would normally clean glass. So I actually kind of like that, because I think it's a little bit more on the foolproof side. So let's spray this down here. I'm gonna give some nice mist there. I'm gonna mist my towel. I know you guys probably can't see me here. You see all of this stuff all over here. So this is like residue from all the packing stuff that came on the car during transport. And let's wipe this down. Holy cow. I really wish you guys could be in here in person and just see that 50-50. The glass is perfectly clean. Holy crap. That is insane. Okay, I'm gonna pull you guys outside so you guys can actually check this out. All right, so I gotta film this as quickly as I possibly can before that sun goes behind that cloud. Can you see that difference though? That is insane. Now, I will say, I am getting a little bit of streaking, as you can see up here. Honestly, I wouldn't say it's too terribly bad, but I do think using kind of my Brilliant Glaze treatment on this would kind of strip all of this off first, and then honestly I would probably use Traceless because that is unbelievably impressive. If you didn't also know, it is literally 90 degrees. It is also about 80 degrees in my shop, and normally glass cleaning at this time of day is kind of a no-go. It is really, really hot inside because I don't have AC. That is an unbelievable transformation. But again, still seeing a little bit of that stuff. Now, the tricky thing that I'm finding with this product here is that when I'm doing areas like this, it's a little hard to get the towel to continue to move. It's still a little grabby. I would say, honestly, my waterless wash glass cleaner situation adds a little bit more slickness than this does. So a little pro and con here, but I do have to say I'm actually really, really impressed. So I just want to tell you quickly, I actually just cleaned the sunroof on the inside. Nasty. That is what came off that glass. I promise I did not wipe this on the outside. That is what came off the glass. That is all of that off-gassing, all of that haze. So final thoughts here with the Bilt Hamber Traceless. Genuinely pretty blown away with it, in all honesty. This is easily the best glass cleaner I have ever tried on the market. I really like how simple it is to use. That is something that a lot of glass cleaners really struggle with. It's how much product do you use and this and that. I'm telling you, there is not a single glass cleaner I've ever used that would get the glass that streak free. Now, again, we did have a few streaks here and there, and I think that's okay. I can go back over them and get those. That was genuinely one swipe on it. So is it 100% traceless? No, you do have to give it a little bit of love, but I think they are damn near close. Now, I'm really interested to see where this product fits into my detailing lineup. I always like to do kind of these first impression videos, do it on camera so you guys can see my real reaction to it. Again, this is not a paid product placement here. This is something I purchased with my own money to test for you guys to see what the hype's about, because I've heard a lot of amazing things about this product. A lot of people have commented it. And yeah, I totally get it. Do I think my glass cleaning method is better? In ways I do. I do think the Brilliant Glaze goes in there and adds a level of slickness that is really impressive. Again, I was having issues with the Rag Company FTW towel in actually leaving a little bit of lint behind. I also got lint from testing out and playing with one of the waffle towels there. So I do think slickness for me is not quite there. It's just like not quite there yet. It does leave almost like a slight alcohol feel behind it. I'm telling you, if you've ever done my Brilliant Glaze treatment, then, you know, Koch Chemie glass cleaner, Clarify glass cleaner mixed with waterless wash, you will never feel glass that is as slick as that. And I just love having slick glass. I want it to feel like ceramic coated paint. I don't want to drag over it and kind of fight it. And I do feel a little bit of fighting here, to be totally honest with you. But for a one size fits all product, blown away, especially on windows that are already clean. This is the torture test for glass cleaners, is getting a fresh car, having all sorts of that off-gassing coming off the glass and dealing with that. To do one wipe and get the glass as clean as that did, like that, is unbelievably impressive. So this will be in the link in the description below. Do keep in mind you can use this for screens on the inside, which is really, really nice to use, especially if you've got a screen protector or kind of a satin screen in your car. This BMW i4 that's sitting next to me here also has one of those. I always find a little bit of streaks left behind as the cleaner evaporates. I go to quickly wipe it and it's still there. It's kind of frustrating. This is going to take that away. So I'm very anxious to play with this more. These are my first impressions. I absolutely think this is going to become a staple here at the shop. I would genuinely encourage you to pick this up, try it yourself. If you're struggling with glass, let me know what you think of it. Thanks so much for watching another out of spec detailing video. We'll see you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.